Yo, what's up gamers? So I only came into the break room because I heard someone pull the fire alarm. Except it wasn't a fire alarm, it was Gary testing his Splatoon evacuation drill. Now the whole break room floor is covered in blue tape, red tape, and what looks suspiciously like paintball splatter. But before management mistakes this for official Nintendo onboarding, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's talk about Nintendo buying Bandai Namco's Singapore studio, and what that means next for the Nintendo Switch 2. Alright, here's the scoop. Nintendo just pulled a move they almost never make. They're acquiring a development studio outright. On April 1st, 2026, Nintendo will buy 80% of Bandai Namco Studio Singapore, and then the remaining 20% will be bought after a certain period, which is corporate speak for we're doing the slow cooker method, let it simmer. The studio will be renamed Nintendo Studio Singapore, and it'll basically become another Nintendo support house, the kind that quietly does half the work while Mario gets all the credit. This is notable because Nintendo historically does not go acquisition crazy the way Sony and Microsoft do. Sony has over 20 first-party teams. Xbox literally bought half the industry and still asks for more. Nintendo, they'll buy a studio every leap year and then go back to gardening. So the fact that they're doing this, yeah, that's eyebrow raising. Bandai Namco Singapore might not be the flashiest name in the industry, but the studio's got a resume that looks like it was written in bold font. They have worked on Splatoon 3, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, Soul Calibur 6, and Taiko no Tatsunji VR Festival. Basically, these guys do everything from Squid Fashion Wars to dogfighting fighter jets at Mach 2 to banging on virtual drums like a caffeinated toddler. Nintendo says this team has strong expertise in creating in-game art assets, which is corporate code for these folks are cracked at making things look good. And with Splatoon 3's update cycle ending over a year ago, this starts smelling like a setup for whatever Splatoon 4, Splatoon spin-off, or Splatoon Cinematic Universe thing Nintendo's cooking. Nintendo losing Rare in 2002 still traumatizes them like a breakup they never got closure on. They said no to buying Rare, Microsoft said yes, and next thing you know, Banjo-Kazooie is on Xbox Game Pass while Nintendo's staring at their phone like, we had something, didn't we? So this acquisition, it looks like Nintendo's saying, we're not losing another second-party studio tied to one of our biggest modern IPs. Splatoon is massive. It's one of Nintendo's biggest franchises ever, and Bandai Namco Singapore was already deeply involved in Splatoon 3. Buying them ensures Splatoon never gets rared again. This is Nintendo buying an insurance policy with jet fighters and squids. And here's the part Nintendo didn't say out loud but absolutely meant. This is all about Switch 2. Nintendo wants more studios to pump out content. They see Sony and Microsoft stacking studios like Pokemon cards, and now that Nintendo is entering a fresh hardware generation, they need developers who already understand their style, art direction, and workflow. Bandai Namco Singapore has already worked with Nintendo since 2013. They already speak the Nintendo language. They're colorful, polished, optimized, and weirdly obsessed with ink physics. So instead of hiring brand new teams, Nintendo basically said, let's just buy the folks who already know how to make Splatoon characters blink properly. Here's the twist nobody's talking about. This might be the start of Nintendo building a global development network, finally competing with Sony's worldwide studio and Microsoft's Xbox studios. Well, that's all I have. I gotta bounce. The break room coffee machine just blinked at me 3 times, and I don't know whether that means it wants help or it's joining Nintendo Studios as well. But before I go, do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and drop your comments down below. Do you think Nintendo buying Bandai Namco Singapore means we're getting bigger Switch 2 games, or is this just Splatoon insurance? This is Scruffy the Janitor signing off. Peace out.